So every year there's a lot of ludicrous claims flying around that you'll be able to get professional cinematic video out of your whatever new phone. So this time we're gonna find out if the age of pocket cinema is finally upon us. Testing was done on a basic tripod with the cheapest smartphone clamp I could find, with matching resolution, frame rate and ISO values using graded log footage. Nubia comes with 3 lenses, 18mm, 35mm and 85mm. And on the iPhone we have 13mm, 24mm and 77mm. This will create an inevitable discrepancy in the field of view, but it will also expose the strengths and the weaknesses of both lens lineups. On Nubia Z60 I used MC Pro 24fps and I chose MS-Log 3 at 200 megabits per second H.265. And on the iPhone I used Blackmagic app to record in Apple ProRes LT. I chose LT to reduce file sizes, but in reality even the H.265 is similar in quality to full-blown ProRes, with worse timeline performance of course. We're gonna kick it off with a field of view comparison. Right off the bat, we can notice the color shift between the two phones when applying a simple Rec 709 LUT. This might be due to changing light conditions when shooting outdoors or the sensors themselves. I deliberately left it like this to show the difference. And yes, they can be matched to look the same in post. When shooting in a controlled environment, colors are more in line between the two phones. Here I used a 2-light setup, key light front right and backlight was set a bit low, I admit. Lights were on 50% power, so not even full blast despite the small sensor size, which is commendable. I want to pause here for a moment. This is where I realized I prefer Nubia. 35mm f1.6 is an absolute sweet spot between 24 and 50mm. It's wide enough, but not too wide. iPhone 24mm f1.8 doesn't lag behind in picture quality, but I do think it was a poor lens choice. Now let's take a look at graded log footage versus the footage you get out of native camera apps. Look at this mess. Nubia is bad enough with its sharpness cranked up to 11 and some nasty color shifts, but the iPhone takes the cake. It's inexcusable. Just don't use native camera apps for video on either phone and that's that. I tested 4K slow motion as well. 120p on Nubia and 60p on the iPhone. And here you can see me autistically and shamelessly dancing in the middle of nowhere. 120p on the Nubia has one drawback though. It's 8-bit, so beware of bending when applying some heavy color grades. 4K 60 on the iPhone remains 10-bit. Yes, you can shoot 4K 60 10-bit on Nubia too. When it comes to extreme close-ups, Nubia has the edge. It has closer minimum focusing distance, tighter focal length and wider aperture. iPhone is not bad in any way, it's simply a bit further back with less bokeh. I did a low light test, and even though it's fine, you can't really expect too much out of these small sensors. iPhone does appear to be somewhat cleaner at higher ISOs. In any case, don't do it. Bring your lights or shoot during the day. Physics cannot be defeated with AI. Not yet, at least. I prefer the image I get out of the Nubia's main sensor. 35mm is far easier to work with than 24mm, and that's the whole point. It's not about the brand, and it never should be. It's about what suits you best. Going forward, I'm probably gonna be using this phone for some of my talking heads and product shots. I do sound like a broken record player. I do sound like a broken record player. I do sound like a broken record player, but it is small, light, and easy to use. And I can get all kinds of aspect ratios and resolutions out of it, my favorite being 4x3, which oddly enough is the only thing I found lacking on my FX3.